Made a lot of decisions in my life, but the one that I'm most happy with is the decision to make health and fitness not an option, not something that I try to do, not something that, if it fits my schedule, I'll do it. I'll eat good, I'll get to the gym, but rather making it a non-negotiable. You might look at the hours I work and say that I have an advantage over some people, but you will also look at my hours and think, this dude's a fucking psychopath. Who the hell would want to work those hours? And the thing is when I was in college, I had a changing class schedule every semester. I was working, whether it was work study or my senior year of college, I got an actual job off campus that I worked 20 plus hours the entire year. And second semester, granted, I only had 2 classes versus 4. I was working at 25 hours a week minimum. And when I could, I was getting 40 plus hours and still going to the gym and still eating as good as I possibly could. It's not a lack of time or a lack of ability, a lack of like a flexible enough schedule to make time for the workout, make time for cooking, make time for this, make time for that. At the end of the day, you have plenty of time. Some people like to spend their free time on TikTok. Some people like to spend their free time on Netflix. Some people like to spend their free time sleeping. Some people like to spend their free times at the bars. Some people like to spend their free time hotboxing their fucking car in some random parking lot with their friends. To each their own, not hating on it. And you just got to reframe. You got to reframe how you think. You got to reframe your life. You got to reframe your priorities. And a lot of people don't want to, and that's okay too. You can continue living the life that you currently live. If you enjoy the life that you currently live, by all means, continue on. You can click off this video. You don't need any of this advice if you thoroughly enjoy the life that you're currently living. I mean, I'm 24 years old. 6 months ago, if this version of me would have walked up to me and said, hey, your body actually feels like shit and you're really inflexible and you have a lot of imbalances, you should probably work on that. 6 months ago, me would have said, shut the fuck up. Current me can tell you that I did indeed, and still do indeed, have a lot of things to work on. And a lot of people like to say, and this used to be one of my biggest excuses, is like, oh, I'm young now. It's fine. Like, I'm active. Like, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good later on. Or even a lot of people in their 20s, in their teens, in their 20s, in their 30s, are like, oh, I could probably do a little better here. I could probably do a little better there. I could get a little more activity. I could eat healthier, but I'm young. I'm fine. I got time to figure it out. But the thing is every single day that you continue to reinforce those unhealthy habits in your life is another day, or rather, another vote against yourself, another negative vote, another vote for the kind of person you are in the wrong direction. And, if you're 18 years old right now, it's going to be a hell of a lot easier to start dieting and working out on a consistent basis than if you wait another 10, another 15, another 20 years, whatever it may be, because you're going to be 10 more years, 15 more years, 20 more years entrenched in your ways of thinking, entrenched in your beliefs, entrenched in, oh, it's all right, I'll be fine, I still have time. You're going to be so entrenched in those values and beliefs. And not only that, but if you're relatively inactive, like you're sedentary, you have a pretty relaxed job, a job where you don't get very much activity at all, you're at a desk most of, if not all day, and you don't go to the gym, you don't really get out to go for walks, you don't really watch what you eat, you just kind of go for what's easy. You find yourself in this drive-through or that drive-through probably way more often than you would really like to, but you can't really help it because you've just always been doing that, and it's easy, and it tastes really good, right? And it fills me up, right? And yeah, I might not feel very good, and I might have quite a lot of brain fog going on, and I might be gaining some weight ever since I haven't been active, ever since I graduated high school and haven't been involved in sports anymore. But like, it's fine, right? Like, I'm young, I got time to change, right? Yes, you are young, you do have time to change, which is why you should start now. For the longest time, I've been so obsessed with getting as big as possible, getting as strong as possible in the gym, but now I'm using it kind of as a vehicle to get my body to where it should be, like get my body functioning as optimally as it possibly can. I don't give a shit about a 315 pound bench press anymore. I don't give a shit about a 500 pound squat. I don't give a shit about a 600 pound deadlift. Yes, those things would be cool, and honestly, one day if I achieve those, awesome, that'd be sweet. Unless you're a competitor, right? Unless you are competing in powerlifting competitions, lifting as much weight as you possibly can should never really be the primary goal. I mean, obviously it's fun, and I'm not trying to tell you how to work out. I'm not trying to tell you how to enjoy the gym. To each their own. And I went through a phase of powerlifting. I went through a phase of wanting to lift as much weight as possible. It's fun, I'm not gonna lie, but I got stuff to work on. I attribute a lot of it to that phase of life where I was just kind of trying to yank around as much weight as I possibly could, press as much weight as I possibly could off my chest, squat as much as I possibly could. Don't really worry about the weight. Watch your form. At the end of the day, though, like I could sit here and list off a million things from my past that, like, oh, this did that and that did this, but like, you know, I'm here right now. I'm here today, and all I can do is say, you know what? I accept what's wrong. I accept what's going on. I accept what needs to be done, and I'm gonna take responsibility for it. I'm gonna put in the work to fix it. I'm gonna do that. Because at the end of the day, nobody else can come do that for me. So you might as well do it. But I mean, just working out in general, getting active in general, it's just so good for the mind. It's so good for the body. It's so good for the soul. Even if you don't want to go to the gym, if you're intimidated by the gym, the idea of the gym, all the big guys at the gym, people staring, people judging, that's fine. But you should really get out in nature, and you should really go for walks or go for a bike ride, or, you know, whatever gets you out, whatever gets you up, whatever gets you active. If you don't want to leave the house, if you're agoraphobic and you're terrified of leaving your house, at least stretch. At least try and find some body weight exercises that you don't mind doing at home, because movement is medicine. And the more inactive we get as people, the more our mental health suffers as well. And that might not really seem like correlation, especially today. You know, we're told like, oh, bad mental health, oh, must be because people treated you poorly in the past, must be because you're in toxic environments, must be because XYZ. And yeah, those things are probably true, but when we aren't moving, when we aren't getting physically active, there's a buildup of energy in our body, and we become restricted. There become restrictions in our body where energy is not able to flow as freely as it's supposed to be. And this causes all kinds of issues, like anxiety, like depression, like all these other things that way too many people are suffering with today. And we're just told that, oh, hey, you need this pill, you need this medication, and you'll be all better. And then we wonder why people are walking around like zombies with no goals and ambitions in this life. Movement is medicine. I promise you, I mean, there are literally research studies, science-backed studies, peer-reviewed studies that talk about the fact that physical activity, physical exercise for like 30 to 45 minutes a day, 3 days a week, that's all you need, is literally a better treatment for anxiety and depression than any SSRI that anyone is ever going to prescribe you. They aren't meant to fix your anxiety and depression, okay? I'm just going to leave that as it is. Movement is medicine, guys. And here's the thing, too. You start working out, you start getting physically active, you start getting a little bit stronger, you're starting to get a little bit more in shape, you're starting to shed some pounds, you're starting to gain some more muscle. You just feel better, you look better, your skin starts to glow, your eyes are brighter. Like, there's unlimited benefits to working out. But the issue is that it's just so hard. Oh, I'm sore. I'm gonna get sore from lifting weights. My legs hurt from going on walks. That's because your muscles are growing and adapting and changing, and they are becoming tougher and bigger and more resilient. Okay? That is a good thing. That is a very, very, very good thing. For whatever reason, we have been taught and conditioned and led astray to believe that, you know, being muscular, being physically capable, looking that way is a bad thing. Like, we shouldn't look that way because it makes other people feel intimidated by us. I don't give a fuck if you're intimidated by me. I got big ass shoulders and I'm proud of it. And guess what? I'm one of the most harmless people on the planet. I want no issues with anybody. I prefer to be at home with my cat, my dog, and my future wife. But like, for whatever reason, we were convinced, and now we just believe that looking a certain way, it's almost viewed as like body shaming. It is. It really is today. Looking good is like viewed as body shaming because we're being told that it's okay to be big, it's okay to be plus size. What I don't like is when people get to that point and just are like, you know what, whatever, screw it. This is okay, this is fine, and you need to accept me for the way I am. No, you're shortening your lifespan. You're opening up the door for chronic disease. You're opening up the door for anxiety and depression. You're opening up the door to die early, okay? That's what you're doing when you're telling people that you have to allow them and accept them for, not being healthy. I'm off that. Movement is medicine, guys. Movement is medicine. We need physical activity. We need to get up and get out, and we need to detach from social media. We need to detach from all the distractions because that's what they want. They want you to be on the distractions. They want you to be on your butt. They don't want you to be physically active. They just want you to get big and old and grumpy and weak and lazy. And they want you to just do what they want. They want you to listen to everything. There's a reason that the approved chemical list from the FDA, I think it's the FDA, in 1950 in the US was around 500, and today it sits well over 10,000. They're literally poisoning our foods. And anytime you pull something out of a box, pull something out of a wrapper that you buy at the grocery store, all you're doing is adding to the damage that has already been done. And you can reverse it. You can. It just takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in 2 weeks. Depending on how far along you've gotten, it's not even going to happen in 3-4 months. But you will see progress. You will see a difference. You will feel a difference. And that's my biggest thing too, is like, because even in my life, even as a person who views himself as pretty dang healthy, when I make a concerted effort to be healthier in whatever area or do something different, like rehab my shoulder, I notice a difference in it. Like from whatever change I'm making, I notice a difference very quickly after a week or two. Not like perfect, this is permanent and we don't have to do it anymore. But I notice differences after a week or two, like small subtle differences, but if you're paying attention you will notice them. Because I'm consistent, I don't do something for 2-3 days and say, okay, and then don't touch it again for 3 months, and then do it for 2-3 days, and then don't touch it for another 2 months, and then do it once, and then never do it again for 2 years, and then that's not being consistent, and you'll never see results that way. You gotta just commit to stuff for a little longer, but don't make that commitment so big. You don't say, okay, I'm gonna start going to the gym 5, 6, 7 days a week for 2 hours at a time. No, just, all right, I'm gonna go buy a gym membership, and then I'm gonna go and walk on the treadmill, and then I'm gonna start looking at some weights. I'm gonna start doing some easy dumbbell exercises, maybe try out some machines. I'll be there for, I'll do my 15-20 minutes of cardio, and then I'll go try out some weights for like 10-15 minutes. Then you slowly just work up and build courage, and you learn things. You learn things gradually. You become more confident. Movement is medicine, guys. The sooner you realize that it's actually just not okay to do the bare minimum. As soon as you realize it's actually not okay to do that, yes, rest and relax every now and then. The weekends are great for that. Or maybe if you're really busy during the week, you get active on the weekends. You just got to get out and get active. It's not okay to just sit on your butt your whole life. That's how a lot of people end up miserable and resentful, is they have big dreams for life. They have big goals in life, but then they just go and do the bare minimum, and they never put in that extra effort. They don't stay clocked in after they clock out from their 9 to 5. And that's how people become miserable and resentful towards life and others. It's because not only are they literally clocking out from their after their 9 to 5, they're also figuratively clocking out. You need to work your job because you need to pay bills. Like, that's a thing. You do need to pay bills 100%, but outside of work, whether before or after, that's your time to work on your hobbies, to work on your passions, to try and build something that can one day replace your 9 to 5 that you don't really even like. But when you refuse over and over and over again for your whole life to do more than the bare minimum, you're never going to get more than the bare minimum. So yes, it's not always going to be fun. You're going to be tired. You might lose some sleep. Sometimes you might even be exhausted. That's okay. You're going to build up good things in your life. You're going to build up good habits. You're going to become more resilient. Things in general are just going to become easier. Movement is medicine. Thank you for watching this episode of Post Gym Ponder. We hit shoulders and arms today. It was a great workout, guys. You know, I really did press record with the goal of being pretty positive and uplifting in this one, but I feel like at a certain point, well, and there's definitely just a certain population of people out there who kind of just need to hear a harsher message. Like, you know, you got to get out, you got to do something, you just gotta. And I'm not here to sugarcoat it today. I'm not here to say, oh, it's okay. I mean, it is okay. It is okay that you haven't been consistent. It is okay that you've fallen off a little bit. But here's your sign to get back on. Here's your sign to get on that horse and to start giving life more than the bare minimum, to build something that you will one day be proud of.